You feel it first as a stillness, a strange and sudden quiet that settles over everything. The hum of the city outside your window, gone. The distant chatter of voices, vanished. Even the frantic beat of your own heart seems to slow. You look up, and the world is bathed in gold. A soft, warm light seeps through the glass. It touches the buildings, the streets, the people frozen mid-stride. It is beautiful and utterly terrifying. This is not the brutal chaos of an invasion. There are no explosions, no screaming. There is only a profound and perfect silence. The timekeepers have arrived. They did not come with warships blazing. They came with a whisper, and with a touch, they stopped your world. Every clock, from the grandest tower to the device in your pocket, is frozen on the same moment. A monument to their power. You are a statue in a silent museum. Your thoughts race, but your body is locked in place. You see a bird, wings outstretched, suspended in the golden air. A car, turning a corner, held in an impossible pose. This is not destruction. This is control. A conquest so complete, so absolute, that it requires no violence. They have not taken your lives. They have taken your moments. And in that unending moment, you understand. You are not fighting an army. You are fighting the concept of time itself. The golden light holds you captive. It holds your entire species. And in the silence, a single, chilling realization dawns. How do you fight an enemy that has already won? You quickly learn the futility of resistance. The first attempts are desperate and small. A flicker of defiance in a hidden laboratory. A signal broadcast into the void. Each time, the world shimmers. The golden light intensifies for a split second. And then, it is as if it never happened. The scientists find themselves standing by their equipment, the idea just beginning to form in their minds. The broadcast signal fades before the first bit of data can be sent. The timekeepers do not counter your attacks. They simply rewind them. They are masters of the universal clock. They see every move you plan to make. They see every strategy before it is conceived. Any act of aggression, any thought of rebellion, is erased from the timeline with casual indifference. It is like trying to punch a ghost that can edit your memory of ever throwing the punch. Humanity's greatest weapons become useless toys. A fleet of starships, poised to strike, suddenly finds itself back in its docks. The crews are cluelessly running pre-flight checks. A planet-killer missile aimed at their silent, hovering monoliths is undone. It is unbuilt, piece by piece, until it is just raw ore in the ground. You are not just disarmed. You are unarmed. Your history of warfare is being unwritten. This is a war fought not on a battlefield, but on the fabric of causality. And you are losing. You are losing a war you cannot even properly start. Every victory is undone. Every hero is reset to zero. The timekeepers are untouchable. They stand outside the river of time, redirecting its flow as they see fit. And humanity is just a pebble in that river, easily tossed aside. Then, the first impossible thing happens. In a small, quiet room, a child is drawing. Her name is Lily. She should be frozen like everyone else. But for a reason no one understands, she is not. She can move, she can think, and she can draw. The world outside her window is a golden statue. But in her room, time flows in tiny, secret trickles. She's drawing a picture. It is a child's drawing, crude and full of impossible colors. But it shows something that makes your blood run cold. It shows a dog. Her dog, Buster, chasing a red ball across a green lawn. This is impossible. Buster and his red ball were in the park when the timekeepers arrived. They were frozen in the golden light. More than that, a military drone had crashed in that park a week ago. The area was supposedly erased from the timeline to prevent a panic. That park, that dog, that red ball, they should not exist in any memory. They were edited out of reality. Yet, here they are, a child's simple drawing of a moment that officially never happened. It is an echo, a whisper from a deleted past. It is a flaw, a tiny, insignificant crack in the enemy's perfect control. This single drawing becomes the most important object in human history. It is proof that the timekeepers are not infallible. Their power, as absolute as it seems, has a blind spot. Something about that moment, something about that child, slipped through their cosmic net. And in that small, crayon-drawn impossibility, humanity finds its first real weapon: hope. Deep beneath the frozen surface of the world, something begins. In secret places, bunkers shielded by kilometers of rock and lead, you start to work. The child, Lily, is brought to one of these hidden sanctuaries. She is not a prisoner, but a guide. Her strange immunity is the key. Project Chimera is born. Its mission is simple: understand the echo, understand the flaw. Your best minds are gathered in these hidden labs. They work in silence, cut off from the frozen world above. They study the child's drawing with an intensity once reserved for holy texts. They analyze Lily's unique brainwaves. They examine the strange temporal signature that surrounds her. She is an anomaly, a ghost in the timekeeper's perfectly ordered machine. The work is slow and painstaking. Every experiment must be conducted with extreme care. A single misstep could alert the enemy. It could cause them to look closer, to find your hidden sanctuary and rewind it out of existence. You are like mice, hiding in the walls of a god's house. You must be silent. You must be clever. You must be invisible. You are no longer fighting with brute force. You are fighting with knowledge. Project Chimera is not about building a bigger gun. It is about understanding the rules of this new, terrifying game. The timekeepers control the clock. But what if you could hide between the ticks? What if you could find a way to exist in the spaces they do not watch? The child's drawing proved it was possible. Now, you just have to learn how. Your scientists make a breakthrough. It comes not from physics, but from biology, from studying Lily. Her mind, in its chaotic, imaginative state, creates a kind of temporal static, a noise that the timekeeper's perfect senses cannot easily parse. It is like a form of natural camouflage. She does not defy their power. She simply confuses it. The goal becomes to replicate this effect, to build technology that can create these small pockets of temporal noise. They call them temporal shadows. These are not bubbles of stopped time. They are areas where causality becomes fuzzy, indistinct. A place where past, present, and future are not so clearly defined. Within these shadows, you can move. You can work. You can plan. Building the first temporal shadow generator is a terrifying gamble. The moment you turn it on, you risk exposing your entire operation. The team gathers around the device. It is a strange contraption of wires and resonating crystals, all centered on a core that hums with low energy. You hold your breath. The switch is flipped. For a moment, nothing happens. Then, a subtle shift in the air. A feeling of disconnection. The monitors that track the timekeeper's ambient field show a flicker. A tiny, insignificant blind spot has appeared on their map of reality. It worked. You are hidden. You have created a tiny island of secrecy in an ocean of total surveillance. Now, the real work can begin. You start building more generators, expanding your network of shadows. creating a hidden world beneath the notice of your silent gods. One day, inside the largest of your temporal shadows, an alarm sounds. It is not an intruder alert. It is a communication signal. This should be impossible. All your systems are isolated. You are completely cut off from the rest of the universe. The signal is weak, and it is strange. It seems to be coming from everywhere and nowhere at once. Your cryptographers work frantically to decode the message. It is not written in any known language. It is a stream of pure mathematical concepts, a language of pure logic. As they piece it together, a chilling realization dawns. The message is not from another place. It is from another when. It is a message from a future that cannot exist. A future that the timekeepers would have surely erased. The message is a ghost. A whisper from a timeline that was pruned, but not perfectly. An echo left behind. It speaks of the timekeepers. It calls them the gardeners of eternity. And it speaks of a fundamental flaw in their power. A flaw that they themselves do not fully understand. A flaw that is tied to the very nature of conscious choice. The message is fragmented, damaged by its impossible journey. But it gives you two critical pieces of information. First, it confirms what you suspected from the child's drawing. The timekeepers are not omniscient. Their perception of time is vast, but it is not absolute. They have weaknesses. Second, it gives you a clue about the nature of that weakness. It has something to do with chaos, with unpredictability, with the very things that define a species like humanity. The ghost in the machine has given you a key. The message from the impossible future changes everything. It peels back the curtain on your silent conquerors. You learn their truth. They are not monsters driven by malice or greed. In their own vast, cold way, they are trying to protect the universe. They see themselves as gardeners of eternity. Their garden is reality itself, and their job is to prune the weeds. They see timelines as branches on a cosmic tree. Some branches grow strong and stable. They lead to predictable, orderly futures. But other branches are wild, chaotic. They sprout in unpredictable directions, threatening the stability of the whole tree. These chaotic branches are, to the timekeepers, a disease, a blight that must be carefully removed. And humanity, you are the ultimate weed. Your species is a fountain of chaos. You are unpredictable, illogical, driven by passion, by art, by dreams. You create endless, messy futures. You are a threat not because you are evil, but because you are free. Your very existence is a challenge to their perfect, sterile order. They are not trying to conquer you. They are trying to edit you, to prune your timeline from the great tree of existence. This knowledge is both terrifying and liberating. You are not fighting a simple tyrant. You are fighting a fundamental force of nature, a force that believes it is acting for the greater good. How can you reason with that? How can you negotiate with a gardener who sees you as a weed? You cannot. You must find a way to prove that your chaos is not a flaw. It is a strength. And it is a weapon they are completely unprepared for. The timekeeper's greatest strength is their perfect order. They can predict every outcome. They can calculate every possibility. Their minds operate on a level of logic that is almost incomprehensible. They see the universe as a grand, elegant equation, and they are masters at solving it. But you, humanity, you are the variable they cannot solve for. Your chaos becomes your greatest weapon. You are messy. You are emotional. You make choices for reasons that defy all logic. You forgive your enemies. You sacrifice for strangers. You create art that serves no purpose. You tell jokes. A timekeeper would look at a stand-up comedian, and their brain might actually short-circuit. This unpredictability is a kind of armor. They cannot model it. They cannot predict it. It is a blind spot in their otherwise perfect vision. Project Chimera shifts its focus. You stop trying to hide from the timekeepers. You start trying to overwhelm them. Your scientists, working within the safety of the temporal shadows, begin to analyze the nature of choice itself. They discover that every conscious decision, no matter how small, creates a tiny ripple in the fabric of causality. A single choice is a whisper, but a billion choices at once? That is a storm. You realize that your messy, chaotic existence is not a weakness to be hidden. It is a strength to be weaponized. The enemy's perfect order is rigid, brittle. It cannot handle the sheer, overwhelming noise of human free will. You are not a weed to be pruned. You are a force of nature in your own right. And you are about to show the gardeners just how wild their garden can truly get. You begin to build the weapon. It is not a bomb in the traditional sense. It does not fire missiles or energy beams. It does not kill. It does something far stranger. Your scientists, guided by the ghost message from the future, forge a device that weaponizes choice. They call it the Causality Resonance Engine, the chrono weapon. The device is designed to amplify the chaotic nature of human consciousness. It takes the tiny ripples of free will and turns them into a tidal wave. It does not destroy things. It creates possibilities, an infinite number of them, all at once. It is a logic bomb aimed at the heart of the timekeeper's orderly perception of reality. To a being that sees time as a single, clean line, a storm of infinite branching paths is the ultimate poison. Building it is the ultimate act of faith. You are pouring all your resources, all your hope, into a weapon that has never been tested. A weapon that operates on principles you are only just beginning to understand. It is a monument to human ingenuity, a testament to your ability to turn your greatest perceived weakness into your most profound strength. The chrono weapon is a beautiful, terrifying thing. It is a sphere of spinning rings, glowing with a soft, white light. It does not hum with power. It is utterly silent. It just waits. It waits for the right moment to unleash a storm of what if upon an enemy that can only comprehend what is. You have forged your chaos into a blade. Now, you just need to create the perfect moment to strike. The plan is audacious. It is a gamble of incredible proportions. You will not fight. You will surrender. You will broadcast a message of total and unconditional defeat to the timekeepers. You will offer them everything they want. Your world, your future, your entire timeline, served up on a silver platter. It is the most convincing performance in human history. Your leaders, their faces etched with practiced despair, appear on every channel across the frozen globe. Their voices, broadcast from within the temporal shadows, are filled with sorrow and resignation. They speak of the futility of resistance. They praise the timekeeper's absolute power. They declare humanity's story to be over. Earth will be preserved as a monument to the gardener's wisdom, a silent, golden trophy for all eternity. It is a masterpiece of deception. You know the timekeepers are watching. You know their logical minds will process this. Surrender is the most logical outcome for a species so thoroughly outmatched. It is a data point that fits perfectly within their model of the universe. They would expect nothing less. They would see it as the final, inevitable triumph of order over chaos. The timekeepers take the bait. Their silent, monolithic ships, which have hung in your sky like geometric gods, begin to move. They descend from their high orbits. They position themselves around the planet. They are preparing to enact the final stage of their plan, to encase the entire planet in a permanent field of frozen time, to prune this chaotic branch of reality forever. And as they move into position, they are gathering in one place, perfectly arranged, perfectly predictable, and perfectly vulnerable. The trap is set. The moment comes. The Timekeepers' ships begin to glow with that familiar, terrible golden light. They are synchronizing, preparing to cast their net over your entire world. It is the moment of your final, orchestrated defeat. And it is the moment you have been waiting for. Deep beneath the surface, hidden in the heart of Project Chimera, a single command is given. Activate the weapon. There is no explosion, no sound, no flash of light. The chrono weapon simply activates. The sphere of spinning rings pulses once with pure, white energy. And across the globe, in orbit, the universe breaks. The effect ripples through the Timekeeper fleet instantly. It is not a wave of destruction. It is a wave of reality, of possibility. For the Timekeepers, it is a nightmare. Their perfect singular perception of time shatters into a billion, trillion pieces. Each of their ships is suddenly adrift in a storm of when. One ship sees humanity surrender. Another sees humanity fight and lose. A third sees humanity develop warp drive and escape. A fourth sees dinosaurs still ruling the Earth. Every possible timeline, every potential choice, every what if you could imagine, and countless more you could not, crashes down upon them all at once. Their minds, built for order and logic, cannot process the sheer, infinite chaos. The weapon has not destroyed their fleet. It has done something far worse. It has given them exactly what they tried to erase from the universe. An infinity of messy, unpredictable, chaotic futures, all happening at the same time. They are not destroyed. They are lost. The sky changes. The golden glow vanishes. The monolithic ships of the Timekeepers are still there, but they flicker. They shimmer like mirages on a hot day. They phase in and out of existence. One moment, a ship is a sleek, black vessel. The next, it is a crystalline structure. The next, a cloud of incandescent gas. They are trapped, caught in an endless storm of their own making, fueled by the weapon you built from your own chaotic nature. They are not destroyed. They are simply unstuck, adrift in a sea of infinite potential. Each ship is now its own isolated universe of branching timelines. They might be experiencing their own victory in one reality, their own defeat in another, the birth of a star, the end of a universe, all at once. They are trapped in the very storm they sought to contain. You have not killed them. You have shown them the true nature of infinity. You watch from the surface of a world that is suddenly, miraculously, free. The clocks start ticking again. The bird suspended in the air continues its flight. The city exhales a breath it did not know it was holding. You have done it. You have won. But the silence that follows is heavy. You have broken something fundamental, and you do not yet know the consequences. Then, a voice speaks. It is not broadcast across your world. It appears directly in the minds of your leaders, in the heart of the newly reawakened Project Chimera. The voice is calm, cold. It resonates with an ancient and profound power. But for the first time, you can detect an undercurrent, something that was never there before. Confusion. What have you done? The voice asks. It is a lone timekeeper, an emissary. Its ship, positioned far from the main fleet, was spared the full force of the causality storm. It witnessed the entire event. It saw its brethren, its perfect, orderly fleet, dissolved into a shimmering chaos of possibility. It is the last timekeeper whose reality is still anchored to yours. Your leaders, their hearts pounding, reply. They do not boast. They do not threaten. They simply state the truth. We have done what you forced us to do. We have embraced our nature. The emissary is silent for a long moment. Its logical mind is struggling to comprehend. You did not fight with weapons. You fought with a concept. You did not destroy. You unraveled. You have broken reality, the timekeeper says. There is no anger in its voice, only a stark, chilling statement of fact. You have unleashed a storm that may never end. This was not logical. And that is when you understand your ultimate victory. You tell the emissary, you are right. It wasn't logical. It was human. The emissary has no response. It cannot compute. It cannot understand an action taken not for victory, but for survival, for the right to be messy, the right to be wrong, the right to simply be. You offer the last timekeeper a choice, an accord, not written on paper, but on the fabric of reality itself. You can reverse the effect. You can collapse the probability storm, though the cost to the fabric of space-time would be immense. You can bring its fleet back into a single, coherent reality. Or you can expand it. You can build more chrono-weapons. You can turn the entire universe into a sea of chaos that even they could never navigate. Your offer is simple. Leave. Leave this galaxy. Leave this corner of the universe to its own messy, unpredictable fate. Acknowledge your right to exist. Your right to make your own choices, for good or for ill. In return, you will not pursue them. You will not spread your weaponized chaos across the stars. You will simply be left alone. The alternative is a war they cannot win. A war fought not with ships and stars, but with ideas and possibilities. A war of temporal attrition. They, the forces of perfect order, would be forced to fight an unending battle against pure, weaponized chaos. They might be gardeners, but you have shown them that you can burn down the entire garden. The emissary does not need to consult its brethren. It can feel their state, lost in the storm, trapped in an infinity of when. The choice is logical, the only logical choice. Preserve the rest of the garden. Quarantine the weed. It is a cost analysis on a cosmic scale. And humanity, the illogical variable, has made itself too costly to prune. The last timekeeper's ship turns. It does not shimmer or flicker. It simply vanishes. It is a silent, final retreat. The shimmering ghosts of the fleet in your orbit fade one by one, as the storm you created slowly, carefully, is allowed to dissipate into the void. The sky is clear. For the first time since the silent conquest began, it is truly yours. You have outsmarted gods. You have faced an enemy that controlled the clock of the universe and won, not with power, but with cleverness, not with violence, but with an embrace of your own imperfect nature. You looked at the abyss, and you showed it something it had never seen before. A species that refused to be edited. The world rebuilds. The silence is replaced by the familiar, messy sounds of life. There is a new understanding in the heart of humanity, a new respect for the power of a single choice. You are the masters of your own fate now. The future is not a single, straight line. It is a vast, branching tree of possibilities, and it is yours to explore. The timekeepers, the gardeners of eternity, have left their garden, and the weeds have inherited the stars. Your future is unwritten, and for the first time, that feels like a victory.